Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lost in the Reel. My name is Shawn,
And my name is Morgan.
and today we are ranking all three of Shawn Byrne's movies. Who's Shawn Byrne, do you ask? He is the director of the new film Dangerous Animals that is out in theaters now. We are going to rank and review all three of his movies. So let's do it. So, a little bit about Shawn Byrne before we start. Shawn Byrne got his start in commercials and music videos, and then finally did his feature film directorial debut, which he also wrote, which won the Midnight Madness People's Choice Award at TIFF. And 6 years later, he then did his second sophomore film, which he also wrote, which is called The Devil's Candy. And finally, 10 years later, we get Dangerous Animals, which is out in theaters now and soon to be on Shudder. So we are going to be ranking and reviewing all three of these movies, starting from our least favorite and then going to our favorite. Morgan, let's start with your number three.
So my number three is his latest one, Dangerous Animals. The writing just didn't do it for me. I know it just it didn't have that Shawn Byrne touch. Really, that his directing really did pull it through with the uh like survival horror aspects and the scariness of him. And Jai Courtney was fantastic as the villain, superb his scenes. But it was the writing, and it was much too long. I was waiting for it to end. I was like, is this the final battle? Is this the final battle? I should preface this though, I'm not a shark girly, so if I had that fear in me, maybe it would bump it up a bit, but not so much. No.
Okay, that's fair. So what would you rate it?
It's solid. 3 out of 5. It's worth the watch, I think. I just
Okay,
out of his films, I don't know. Not my favorite.
that's fair. I mean, a 3 out of 5 is definitely still like you would recommend, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So honestly, when it comes to dangerous animals, I'll be talking about that in a little bit. But I definitely think what you had to say about him not writing the film, you can really tell because his first two films have such like a Shawn Byrne stamp on the screenplay. Like they're like brutal and heavy metal, and there's a little bit of that to this movie, but definitely not as much. There's a little bit more of those familiar horror tropes that are being explored that we've seen before, but it's a serial killer that kills people with sharks.
That's
There's something about it. Like anyways, we'll talk about how I feel about it later.
yeah. Okay, so then what's your number three?
So my number three is going to be The Devil's Candy, which is his film from 2015. Um, it stars Ethan Embry, who is from Can't Hardly Wait, and it's so weird seeing him as like this metalhead rocker. Um, but it's basically about this family, and they move to this idyllic home in the outskirts of Texas, and he starts being haunted by this like demon voice almost. And he's a painter, and he starts painting these things. And then the person that lived in the house before is already like far gone, like he is possessed by the devil. And I wouldn't want to go any further into that, but what I love about this movie, The Devil's Candy, is it really shows how Shawn Byrne plays with like layers and like really subverts expectations. Because at first I thought we're just going into this like haunted house movie, right? And they're going to be haunted, the dad's going to go evil or whatever, and that is not at all what this movie is. And I was so surprised by that and like pleasantly surprised. Now, the things that I don't love is I feel like this movie's almost too short. It's 80 minutes long. And there's a couple of moments that I felt like they could have explained a little bit more to like get us to where we needed to be. And then also, the finale, you can definitely tell where the budget was, they had a lot of budget constraints, basically, because, I mean, and Sean Byrne did his best.
He did his
Like, you
best.
can really tell, like, there's some really interesting special effects with fire and whatnot, and it's kind of surrealist. And I was like really trying to be like, it's okay, but like honestly, like if he just had like $1 million more to pull off what he had in his script, I think that this movie might be bumped up a little bit more, but it just does look a little bit cheap, unfortunately. But I really like this movie. I think it sent some chills down my spine. That voice of the like devil in their head throughout the movie, like even after the movie, I kept hearing that like noise and like that voice saying those things over and over again. So it
Okay.
definitely stays with you. Yeah, I loved the relationship with the family too. So there
Yeah.
were so many things that I loved about this movie, and I would give it a 3.25 out of 5.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Because that's my number two. And like everything you said, Shawn, like the creepy, like demon possession aspect. And I'm not really a demon girly either, but I was just like that voice and the creepiness that just like you felt throughout the entire film. I was just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And the villain in it who like god made me so sad at the same villain, I don't know, so sad at the same time. It just
Yeah.
that he was incredibly creepy. Like I couldn't look when he was on screen, I couldn't look away from him, and I was so scared. And for it being a short movie, I feel like it had a whole storyline though, and you felt for the family. And yes, they you kind of were left with like, I want more explanation of like the possession, all of this and stuff. But I think they actually did a good job, or Sean Byrne did for sure. Um, it is weird seeing Ethan Embry play this like metalhead white Jesus. Like,
He
like
pulled it off though.
he did. At first, I was like, ew, and then I was like, okay, I see it. This is
Yeah, the
good.
wig was a little much. Like they could have done better with the wig, but he as an actor, like Sean Byrne really knows how to pull like performances out of these actors like Jai Courtney, like you said, Ethan Embry, who are not really well known for their acting chops, but like in his movies, like they do a great job.
Such a wonderful job. I was surprised by how much I felt for like Ethan Embry's character, his family, that dynamics, the mother. Like, there's the no spoilers, but that scene at towards the end, I'm just like, holy shit,
Yeah.
so good. But yeah, a little short. The budget, the flame graphics. I was kinder. I This is why I'm like, oh, they're just going for the artistic side of it because he's an artist, and that's what that whole thing was.
Yeah, I tried to do that in my brain too. I tried to constitute it because I was like, I do not want to let this budget problem with what they were trying to do ruin my experience with this film. So I didn't let it, but it's still like it just didn't work completely.
Fair. Fair. And I did like actually the length of it now that I think about it more. Perfect. Just I didn't go on too long.
That
Spits.
is true. That is very true. I mean, at 80 minutes, it is tight. There is no fat on this movie at all.
I love that. Note that. Yeah. And I rank it yeah, 3.25 actually. It's so funny that you say that because it's obviously it's not my number one. It's not his best movie. But it's very Sean Byrne, and if you like some metal demon possession stuff in your life, watch this movie.
I agree.
Metal. Okay.
Oh, that scene with his daughter, I love that.
Yes, it's so cute. The family dynamics really holds it together.
It does.
Okay, what's your number two?
So my number two is Dangerous Animals,
Okay,
and I mean, I think that I like this movie a lot more than you. I
wait.
watched it twice. I don't know. I love shark movies. I don't know why, but
Why?
because there's just that inherent like fear, and I love that Jai Courtney's character in the movie like talks about why people are more afraid of sharks, than they are of mosquitoes, even though mosquitoes kill way more people. I love that stuff. So there's a lot of really great monologues from Jai Courtney in this film. He's so good at it, and he
Okay.
just throws himself in there. I had no idea he had this in him because honestly, he's not that great of an actor in most of the movies that he's in. So this was such a pleasant surprise. I loved the final girl. I thought she was awesome. I loved that there was like this hopeless romantic character that was like, yes, it's a little far fetched that they fucked in a van and then all of a sudden he's like gonna do whatever it takes to go find her. Like,
I was literally rolling my eyes during certain scenes with them, and I'm just like, this is so gross. Like, it lost me at that.
I don't know. I totally fall for that stuff. I liked that they built up their relationship because there's that scene at the beginning, and then the way that Sean Byrne, once again, the layers of Sean Byrne's movies, like I love that all of a sudden it like diverts you to let's get to know this girl now and this guy, and it's like we spend a lot of time with them and it's like, wait, what's going on over there? And then it like turns you over here again. So I love that he's constantly subverting those expectations. But I don't know. I thought the shark scenes were awesome and brutal. And I loved that we got like a little bit of like backstory about why Jai Courtney is doing what he's doing in this. And I would love to see a sequel, but that probably won't happen.
No, I'm okay with no sequel. What would it even be, Shawn? What?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it in my head though, and I want it to happen.
You're you're a shark boy. You just love those sharks.
uh, I will say my biggest flaw with it is that I felt like there could have been, with its length, there could have been more scenes like of the attacks. Like there was not a lot of the shark attacks in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, which attacks? Like human attacks or shark attacks?
Like when the shark attacks the human. Like I wanted more. I wanted more of that carnage, that shark carnage. So that the movie doesn't it when it's doing it, it delivers, but it doesn't do it very often. And there's some repetitiveness at the end with like fighting back and different battles and stuff, like you said. But
Mhm.
I love this movie. I will definitely watch it many times again in the future. So for me, it's a 3.75 out of 5.
Whoa! Really?
Yeah.
No. Okay. No, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my number one, obviously, is The Loved Ones, his first film, like the debut, Shawn Byrne, and it is perfection. It follows a depressed teenager who gets asked out to prom by Lola, one of his classmates. Sadly, she gets rejected by him because he's in a long-term relationship. And that turns out to be the worst mistake of his life because he gets abducted by her and shit hits the fan in the most deliciously diabolical way ever. I love
Oh, yes, it does. The shit hits the fan.
Yes, the shit's gonna hit the fan.
shit hits the fan.
Oh.
I mean, the the grotesque scares, the like torture scenes, like oh my god, like it is so good. And Lola's absolutely crazy, and you can't look away from her, and you love to hate her. It is so engaging, and there's so many of the Shawn Byrne layers where there's like family dynamics, different characters intertwining throughout the film, and you get to see them as well. Like it's just so well done from start to end. Amazing. And I highly recommend this film to everyone, and I rewatch it pretty often, honestly. And I still love it. I see like no flaws. And even though no film is perfect, this one's close. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Woo! Yeah.
Um, well, that's a great segue into my number one, which is The Loved Ones.
Yes,
I agree with everything you just said. This movie is so insane.
insane.
Like, and I've only seen it once before, so this was my second time watching it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was definitely like, I think I watched it maybe like a couple of years after it came out. So it's been a long, long time. And this movie holds up so well. It is so brutal and nasty and demented. And it literally goes to places with its gore that is just like cringeworthy and like close your eyes worthy and like and it's
Ah,
like you're screaming at the screen the entire time because you're like you care about the characters too. Like that's the thing, or at least the main guy in the movie. You like really care about him because once again, Shawn Byrne, he takes his time, like really evolving these characters and like creating a place for them to grow before throwing them into the madness. And I'm so happy that this movie does that. It does it in a really quick way. And then they throw you in there, and then it's like an hour and 20 minutes of insanity. And it's just crazy.
it's just crazy.
And the moment you think you know exactly, like, oh, okay, like this is gonna keep happening, it's kind of like this like torture movie. Then all of a sudden, some other crazy shit happens, and you're like, what the fuck is that? like, like,
Seriously, what the
what?
fuck is that?
Like, oh, down the hatch. Like, I don't want to give anything away, but it's like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, just experiencing it again. I remember really loving it and experiencing it again. I had so much fun with it. This is a brilliant movie. I can't believe it's his directorial feature debut. And I think this shows all of his best instincts as a filmmaker on such a small budget. He's able to create these incredible practical effects, really create this sprawling story with all of these characters and bring it together in a satisfying way.
Yeah,
And I think he does that with all three of his films at the end of the day. Some better than others, obviously. But I mean, The Loved Ones is peak horror. And if you have not seen it, you definitely need to watch it right now.
right now.
So for me, it's a 4.5 out of 5 as well.
Yay! I mean, really, it's I can't believe you've only seen it twice too. I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
It almost felt like like revisiting it, or not revisiting. It felt like watching it for the first time
Oh,
because I didn't remember so much about it, especially in that latter half. I was like, whoa, okay. Like it was awesome.
this movie was drilled into my brain after I watched. I had to. I had to.
See
Oh,
what you did there.
but I want to like I do enjoy Devil's Candy and Dangerous Animals. Like they're good, but I want more of this Sean Byrne. Like I want
Yeah.
to see this more.
I,
Give me more.
I agree. Can we first agree that let's not wait another 10 years until we get another Sean Byrne movie, because he has such like a specific stamp that I really appreciate. And it's like it's these movies, first of all three of them are entertaining. They're fun to watch. They don't take themselves way too seriously, but they're also insanely brutal and nasty and gruesome.
Yeah.
Um, and they also have a dark, twisted sense of humor too, which I love.
I definitely love that dark sense of humor. Like that hits my funny bone specifically. It's so good. Yeah. Please don't make us wait another 10 years. That's too long. And then please let us know if you've seen any of his films. And if you have, or you're going to start watching them, let us know how you rank his three movies.
Yes. And once again, thank you so much for watching Lost in the Reel. We will see you all very soon. Take care.